Hi, I'm Tiffany Crosara and welcome to this month's Astro Tarot channel for July 2012. I've been doing this Astro Tarot channel for nearly a year now, and it's been great to see such consistency around the cards. It feels to me as if it really helps us to see and stay on track with the energies. An astrology part to this as well, and the link of which can be found under the YouTube video. But for now, we'll have a look and see what the tarot says for this month. It's quite interesting this month because there's an absolute total lack of wands, which means the energy, the fire, the motivation, the passion is unfortunately somewhat lacking. There is a lot of inner processes going on, and there is also a lot of outer processes going on because there's a lot of pentacles which talk about manifestations in the outer world. However, it's interesting because normally for something to manifest in the outer world, there needs to be action. You can't just normally go from thought to instant manifestation. However, maybe you can. Maybe that's part of the new wave we are finding ourselves within. So, yeah, interesting month. Let's take a look. The first week starts with the Seven of Pentacles here. And the Seven of Pentacles tells us that we're very concentrated on looking at what we have so far, what we've built up, and what we're going to do with that that's there. So it's almost like a harvest card, looking at our crops, our work so far, and seeing what needs to happen next. Interestingly enough, connected with this one. So this tells me that it's important for us to listen very much to our inner whisperings about what to do. It's a very intuitive feeling state of guidance coming through about what to do on the practical level in the first week of July. The last card that we have is Ripeness. Now, Ripeness is another pentacle card in the Osho Zen deck. So you've actually got the Seven of Pentacles, and then the intuitive calls lead you on to the Nine of Pentacles, which is Ripeness. So it's saying here, as long as you go for your own inner guidance around what you should be doing in the external world, things look like they should be growing nicely and really coming to fruition in the first week of July. When we move on to the second week of July, it feels rather... At first I was quite puzzled by it because in the second week of July we have Mercury going retrograde, and Mercury retrogrades are very much about going backwards and processing what's going on inside of our heads and our thoughts. But the second week of July in the tarot firstly seemed to me as if it was very much about going forward. We do have the Queen of Swords as the first card in the second week of July, and this would talk to me very much about Mercury and its energy coming through and being present and being felt. But as you can see, this card looks as if it's very much going forward, so I expected to see the next card as something about going backwards. But actually what we got was the Chariot. So what you can see here is almost like the Queen of Swords, the Queen of her thoughts, unleashing all of that energy forwards, galloping ahead. Go, go, you know, it's time to really get on that horse and really ride your journey, really get out there. And, you know, this is the opposite to what we believe Mercury retrogrades to be about. So I wondered what the next card would be like. And what we have is the Consciousness card for the Osho Zen Tarot, which is also really the Ace of Swords. So again, we're seeing an emphasis on the sword energy. It's interesting because we've also got Mars going into Libra around this time. So Libra, the sword, the scales, the balance. Chariot is also about needing balance for things to be successful. It feels here as if there is quite a lot of weight going on in our heads. And there's emotional charge to it as well. And it may well be playing out in things to do with our relationships. So there's quite a bit going on here around our ability to actually navigate what's going on in our head successfully and consciously. Hello, mystic. So, interesting week on the 2nd of July. There's plenty of ways that this could be playing out. And it's really up to you to really tune into your thoughts. And you may well feel a little bit anxious with the Chariot card here in particular. But it may well be a good time to actually do processes such as meditation and things like that to get some space. Yes, space. In order for you to be able to go forward. Okay. So, the next cards that we have for July the 3rd. July the 3rd? Did I say that? The 3rd week in July is the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles talks to us very much about us becoming very masterful in terms of those things in the first week. Yeah, I think Mystic agrees with that one. So it's a sense of sitting comfortably or arriving at some place after the processes of the 1st and 2nd week of July. However, there still seems to be a racing going on in our consciousness, or a pressure for us to go on to the next base or make the next decision. And we're kind of seeing that here with the Two of Swords. But the Two of Swords shows that things aren't clear yet. We're not quite ready to be there making those decisions. And this is relationship orientated as well as business orientated this month. It feels to me like it may be good to wait until after the new moon on the 18th of July. The new moon in Cancer, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, so it's a powerful new beginning for our emotions, and we may well be able to see a lot more about where we're going, what we want, what's right for us on an emotional and intuitive level, where relationships and the outer world are concerned. This feels to me backed up by the fact that we have the Silence card as the last card for the week, 3rd week in July. So what you have here, as you can see, is a moon, and it's just saying that, you know, it's not time to really announce your decisions. It's a new beginning of new emotions, and it's really time just to allow yourself to be comfortable where you are, even if it feels uncomfortable. The practice is about becoming comfortable. Okay, so we'll try and move on to the 4th week of July now. So in the 4th week of July, again we're back to the Pentacles, this time the Page, which is quite significant because it does show us that there is a new beginning that has really strongly manifested over this past week or past few days since the new moon in Cancer. It's showing that there are new deals on the horizon, or new promises of things really manifesting quite clearly on the practical level. But again, we've still got this sword energy, and the sword energy is still quite stuck here with the Four of Swords. It's really showing that it's time again just to be comfortable with where you are. And this can be a challenge because of all that power. When Mercury actually went retrograde, it felt like there was this urgency to actually make decisions and go forward with things. But actually, it's a sense of what's coming. It's not a sense of what's now. Now is actually really about reflection and being comfortable with uncertainty. So you've got an interesting mix of things manifesting but also not going forward. It's an interesting type of stuck energy. Maybe it's a sense of seeing things as happening slowly but surely, and not feeling like you need to be pressurizing yourself to really get on with things, particularly as we have the absence of the wands this month. You know, there is no fire, there is no get up and go, and that could cause a lot of problems in our emotional makeup if we try and make that happen. It really does feel like it's very much about practical analysis and also emotional intuition, and balancing the two out this month. This is capitalized by the fact that we actually have the guidance card, which is another pentacle actually in the Osho Zen. So they've got so many pentacles and swords this month. So you've got the guidance card, which is this one here, saying that, you know, we really need to stay still and be quiet enough to receive that inner guidance. It feels to me as if, you know, those whisperings of intuition will be very, very strong throughout July. I personally have felt an uprising in that towards the end of June. So it feels to me as if, you know, we can expect to feel more of that throughout the month. So the general for July, again, we've got another 4. So we've got the 4 of Cups here. Again, this is talking about looking at what you've got and listening to what is being offered that you're not necessarily seeing that clearly, and you're needing to be very quiet and very contemplative in order to work out exactly what that is. This is followed by another 4, funnily enough. And 4s in the tarot are still points, so we're really getting that message hammered home. And this one is the 4 of Pentacles, funny that. Again, it seems to be saying that, you know, things to do with practical concerns. It's like a sense of half full, half empty, and there's just a need to stay with that and be all right with where you're at. Make sure you've got a strong, firm footing going on before you rush off. And as I said, there's so much energy in the second week of July in our thoughts. We could almost get into panic mode about needing to actually put things into motion, and it feels very important just to you know, actually work on your own grounding this month rather than necessarily put things into action or feel rushed or pressurized, because it feels to me as if we've got a deepening process going on in our psyches and we won't have got the whole picture by the second week of July. And the final card is the another Osho Zen, and is called Compromise, but is still actually, yes, a pentacle card. And this one is 6, which is about progression. So we are seeing that things do start to progress by the end of the month. It's also about relationship and balance, and also connected to Libra. So we've got very strong themes about dealings with other people this month, and how one needs to be very conscious and very honest in them, really, and you know, not try to make ourselves to be anything we're not. That feels really important. It feels like if there is any time just to be gentle and accepting of yourself and the way things are, it's now. And if you find that your head goes a bit crazy in the second week of July, then really maybe just do some physical exercise, get out and do some running or things like that, rather than feeling that, you know, you need to put pressure on yourself where decisions are concerned in business and in pleasure. Okay, so just to recap, the amount of pentacles we've had in this reading is quite strong. We've had the 7, the 9, the King, the Page, the 4 and the 6. So it shows really that we are in the process of a quite substantial manifestation but things aren't there yet. It's the middle process, and it can feel quite heavy going. It can feel a bit like a slog, and it just feels as if, you know, in a way this month it does feel like we are just needing to tune into our thoughts and do a lot of exercise in order to really get through it. Energies might feel quite flat as well, so that's another reason for doing some exercise. I think that's the only way you can make your wand really appear this month, meaning your fire and your motivation. In terms of swords, we've had the Queen of Swords, the Two of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Ace of Swords. So it's all about decisions, weighing up, fairness, and this is why I said it's really important for honesty, for you to be honest with yourself and honest with your dealings with others. And yeah, don't be afraid of the truth. Like they say, it will set you free. Maybe we are afraid of that, especially as there's so many fours that have come up this month. We've had the Four of Swords, we've had the Four of Cups, and we've had the Four of Pentacles, which is about staying quite secure and feeling maybe quite stuck at the moment, but that's okay, you know, everything does change, everything will change, and next month will be actually quite different. She says, have a great July. I hope the sun finally comes out, and I look forward to seeing you in August. Take care.